One more. Beautiful. I think we're good.
It's all about perspective in the camera, and the camera can make things look way, way, way bigger than they actually are.
How much protein did the cast of The Expendables consume?
The entire set was a buzz. Only Sly could pull off a moment like that. Guys I wrestled with and bled with, chasing that Olympic dream in the Army.
Greatest, obviously, other than yourself, greatest MMA fighter of all time.
I think one of the greatest of all time is George St. Pierre.
What about boxer? The best boxer of all time.
Pretty hard to refute Muhammad Ali and everything that Muhammad Ali accomplished. I'm also a big Joe Frazier fan, and his style and his peekaboo hook was something I tried to emulate in my boxing. But I think Muhammad Ali is probably the greatest of all time.
In your pro career, what accomplishment are you most proudest of?
I think winning the Pan Ams in '91 in Cuba. I beat the Cuban, first and only time I beat Ronaldo Pena, who was an Olympic silver medalist and a world silver medalist in Greco-Roman wrestling. And in front of Fidel Castro, I threw him on his head and beat him that night. It made the news in the States. It was probably one of the best matches I'd ever had in wrestling. Aside from that, having my 3 children.
Right. All right, your battlefield foxhole, who do you have with you, living or dead?
Oh my gosh, what a crazy question. I've got a whole plethora of guys I served with that would definitely be first in my foxhole. Guys I wrestled with and bled with, chasing that Olympic dream in the Army.
Or your most memorable moment working on The Expendables?
I think Expendables 1, being in Rio for those first couple weeks of the shoot, and we were coming to this tunnel. It was the first time the entire cast of guys came together in the same moment, and the entire set was a buzz. Only Sly could pull off a moment like that. Statham, all of us that were in the movie are together synchronizing our watches to kind of go infiltrate this palace and blow it up. And that was the first time the entire cast came together. And there was just this buzz about it. And then a second moment in 2, we're all getting ready and geared up in Plovdiv, Bulgaria, to go out and shoot and kill Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I'm standing in a tent in the cold with Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, and the list goes on. And this crazy cast of guys. And we're all just kind of getting our gear on to do this shot and looking at each other, even looking at Schwarzenegger and Willis like, this is crazy. This group of people coming together to go try and shoot Jean-Claude Van Damme in this movie was just one of those moments. It's like, am I really here?
How much protein did the cast of The Expendables consume?
That's funny. Everybody assumes that with that cast of guys on those sets, there would be a bunch of dick measuring and bullshit. And I think because Sly brought a whole group together and sets the tone, nobody was going to step out of line. We had a great time. Everybody's telling jokes. Everybody's having fun. I think all of us probably drank our share of raw eggs watching Rocky as kids. And now we're getting to work with this guy on one of his movies. Was a pretty impressive and important thing. And I'm sure there was a lot of protein powder being devoured.
I'm sure. Out of that cast, who made the best fighter in real life?
I think Jet Li's an amazing martial artist, but he'd be the first to tell you that he's not a fighter. Statham has become an amazing martial artist as an Olympic diver. Terry Crews is a huge guy, but he's a football player, and he'd be the first to tell you that he's not really a fighter. Dolph Lundgren, massive guy, 6'3", and has a lot of Kyokushin karate stuff. He's a black belt in Kyokushin karate, which is one of the karate styles that they do point sparring and sparring. Of all the guys I did a little workout with Dolph for Expendables 1. He's probably the only guy that has any real fight experience besides me. And then obviously in 3, Vic Ortiz was a great boxer. Ronda Rousey obviously was in that movie as an expendable as well. And they have very, very good fighting experience as well.
Well, Dolph's all Drago, so.
Ivan Drago.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie, action or otherwise? Any movie, what's your favorite?
I have a few favorites. Braveheart, Gladiator, are two of my favorite. Outlaw Josie Wales. I grew up on the spaghetti westerns and the Eastwood movies. I'm a big Eastwood fan. Love his directing style. Love some of his favorite movies. Gran Torino, one of my favorite movies. But those are probably my top four right there.
What's your favorite fighting movie?
Fighting movie. I mean, it has to be Rocky.
Best one.
I mean, just the story alone of Stallone and what he stood up against to make that movie happen, and to be able to play that character is a ridiculously cool story. And I don't know a kid that wasn't drinking raw eggs and doing one-arm push-ups back then when that movie hit.
How do you run the stairs in Philly?
I have not run the stairs in Philly, but I've run a lot of stairs.
I'm sure. I did it when I was there last time, and it was surprisingly easy.
Yeah. It's all about perspective in the camera, and the camera can make things look way, way, way bigger than they actually are.
I was really out of shape at the beginning of that movie.
I get that all the time, actually. I thought you'd be bigger. Look bigger on film, I suppose, and I can change your perspective when I'm sitting on your chest looking down at you. Yeah, everything looks bigger on screen. You look heavier, you look thicker, you look bigger, and some of that's perception. I've heard that they brought in special actors or put guys on boxes to be around John Wayne. I don't know if that's true, but...
If you could only own one firearm for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It would be my Sig Sauer. I have a 320 and a 365.
What's your big game hunting bow setup?
I like the Matthews bows. I have a couple Matthews bows. I got turned on to Matthews through Jesse and Ginger Moorhead, are two world-class archers that had their own archery show. And I went hunting with them several times and had a pretty good shot with my Matthews.
What's your best habit?
The best habit is staying positive.
Do you have any guilty pleasure when it comes to food or drink or anything like that?
If I had a guilty pleasure, it would be ice cream. Yeah.
And what's on your pump-up music playlist where you're like, I gotta go fuck some shit up?
That might surprise people. I'm more of a country guy since going to college at Oklahoma State. I didn't like country music till I showed up and became a cowboy at OSU. That was right when Garth Brooks took off. He was there the year before, and then went to Nashville that year. I showed up for my freshman year, and Garth and Clint Black and Alan Jackson, you know, those guys kind of got me into country music. It's part of your education at Oklahoma State. So that's the music that gets me fired up. I love those stories.
What songs?
Friends in Low Places is one of my go-tos for sure. Yeah.
That's cool.